Ancient Days, the Second Book of Confluence, by Paul Macaulay.
He scrambled across the cell, knocking Yama aside and fetching up to the bull's-eye window, clutching his rifle to his chest and staring wide-eyed at the door. Yama faced it squarely, his heart beating quickly and lightly. Blue light filled the frame, and then, without a transition, the hellhound was inside the cell. It was a pillar of blue flame that seemed somehow to extend beyond the floor and ceiling. There was a continual crackling hiss as its energies ate the air which touched its surface. Its heat beat against Yama's skin. He had to squint against its brilliance as he held up the coin. It took all of his will to stand still. He said, "I don't know if we have already met, or if you are the brother to the one I called forth before. But in any case, I apologize for my behavior. I ran away because I did not know what I had called, and I was afraid. But now I have freed you knowingly, and I ask for your help." He did not see the hellhound move, but there was a brief wash of heat against his skin, and suddenly it was gone.
Trailblazing American Women, First in Their Fields, by Barbara Kramer.
In the early morning hours of April 6, 1917, the galleries in the U.S. House of Representatives were overflowing with observers. All eyes were on Jeanette Rankin, the 36-year-old Republican representative from Montana. President Woodrow Wilson had asked Congress to declare war on Germany. The Senate had already given its approval. Now, after 16 hours of debate lasting well past midnight, members of the House were casting their votes. Rankin did not believe in war, and people wondered how she would vote. When her name was called, she stood and said, "I want to stand by my country, but I cannot vote for war." 49 other representatives voted against war that day. However, it was Rankin's vote that got the most attention, for she was the first woman ever to serve in Congress.
What the Dickens, by Gregory Maguire.
"What's that?" said Gage. "What?" said Dinah. "Get down," said Gage. He threw out his arm and hit her on the shoulder. She slumped to the floor. A flashlight shone through the window, and the doorknob rattled and rattled again harder. The noise of footsteps going around the corner of the house. The sound of something pausing. Dinah was now sure that the wind had died down sometime during the night when they were deep in the story of the orphan Skibberey. It must have. She could hear so clearly, too clearly, the slick of feet on wet grass, and then the crunch of feet on gravel, and then the sound of the side door being tried. It was locked, but less securely so, and from the outside someone put his weight against it and began to shove against it to break in. One time, twice, another time. Not to be scared. Don't be scared. It could be, or even.
Train Your Brain, by Joel Levy.
Most people are familiar with the idea of thinking specifically about words or numbers and are therefore comfortable with the concept of verbal or numerical aptitude. Spatial aptitude may be a less familiar concept, but in many ways it is a much more universal aspect of mental life. Spatial aptitude, or to use a broader term, spatial intelligence, is concerned with visual experience and the related world of forms, dimensions, patterns, shapes, movement, navigation, and, of course, space. Spatial aptitude is called on when you reach out to grab something. Put your shopping away in the kitchen closets. Work out how long it will take you to get to the stores. Plan the drive to your folks' place, or draw a diagram of how you want the living room to look when you get that new sofa in.
Emmy and the Rats in the Belfry by Lynn Jonell.
The piebald rat laid back her ears, crouched on the third-story window-sill, and looked in the bedroom. The girl on the bed was motionless, except for the quiet rise and fall of breath beneath the blanket, and her eyes were closed. The rat smiled, her sharp teeth showing, and glanced over her shoulder.
"She's still sleeping, Cheswick. Get a move on."
A glossy black rodent heaved himself up a last few inches of grapevine and wriggled through the corner tear in the window screen.
"Just let me catch my breath, Jane dear,"
he panted, flopping on the blue-painted sill.
"Don't be such a weenie, Cheswick. You don't see me breathing hard, do you?"
"That's because I carried you most of the way,"
wheezed the black rat.
"On my back, my precious little cupcake."
The piebald rat narrowed her eyes.